Well, this has the makings of a good Halloween TV film, especially one of a thriller nature. I mean, I read the pitch, and it's pretty consistent with other fare I've seen in the TV market, notably films of, I'm sure many of you recognize this name, Mar Vista. They're Mar Vista Entertainment. They've been a frequent appearance on this channel. I've tended to cover a lot of their film fare, and some of the projects I've liked from them, but their films are more TV-centered. Right? They're like Lifetime movies for the most part, and you can find some of them on streaming. And I've covered many from them that in fact feature cheerleaders or cheerleader-centric stories and young girls being put through a very dangerous experience, however it might materialize, right? There's some sort of thriller side to the piece. Now, this is not Mar Vista. I was curious, so I went ahead and checked the production companies. I'm like, okay, this has the makings to me of a TV thriller. It's actually being put out as part of a sci-fi channel, who I haven't watched too frequently, but I've covered some of their projects before. It could be good. We'll see. I mean, they've got some campy work, so I don't know exactly, how it will best materialize. But, at least give it a go. We'll see what the quality is. But I mean, the idea, and I've seen, some TV film fare. I mean, it could be kind of fun. I don't remember what the release date is of this. The trailer, in fact, came out this morning as I'm covering this. It's debuting in October. So it's debuting for the Halloween season. Perfect release. Because that's, in fact, what the project, I believe, in its presentation is centered in for the season. So this is what it says to give you a pitch if you've not heard the name. I mean, there's probably a lot of films these days. In fact, I've seen many that go by the Bring It On title. But Cheer or Die, that's new. And that does have the makings of, again, that's very traditional TV titling, in my opinion. This is a pitch for you, for those of you who aren't familiar with the project. This is what you can expect to see from IMDb. When a cheer squad practices their routines on Halloween weekend in an abandoned school, they are picked off one by an unknown killer. Could somebody have moved the practice to somewhere a little more populated? I mean, cheer squad practicing their routines on Halloween? Wouldn't you think, maybe Halloween's the next day, or maybe the preceding day. I'm not exactly, no, if it were on the Halloween weekend, they would have to be the day after. Wouldn't you think to, I could understand perhaps, wouldn't you have to coach there? Or maybe they're, high school girls, and, there's this feeling of, we can let them in, they can take care of themselves. How many horror films have you seen centered around high schoolers end up in very dangerous situations? Perhaps abandoned buildings, and then suddenly, oh no, it becomes a mystery of who's going to die, right? I mean, again, traditional, Halloween horror thriller fare. Let's see, how the film materializes. I mean, it's kind of fun. I think it's an endearing pitch. It might be a fun watch for the Halloween season. I'm not expecting anything too, major, but because, I mean, sometimes you have a TV film that kind of, it shocks you in regard to its presentation. But maybe it'll be a competent release. Let's see. It's a short teaser. Only at 50 seconds, but hopefully this will give a good introduction. I am in the mood for more cheerleader thrillers. Again, Mar Vista has made so many at this point that I'm like, okay, let's see what sci-fi has to offer.
Oh my god, we're so dead!
I kind of find it a bit comical. I'm sorry. I know people are dying, but...
Yeah. Bring it on!
Okay. Is this some sort of campy horror version of another movie? Because the way they market it. Oh, that's a much shorter trailer. That's only 30 seconds? I would like to see a little more. I haven't done as much research into this project to properly gauge if this is based on another work. But they say Bring It On. Is this part of a series? Because IMDb has a whole list of references here in regard to Bring It On. Bring It On worldwide. Hashtag Cheersmack. Bring It On fight to the finish. Bring It On in it to win it. Bring It On again. How many Bring It On movies are there? And are they attached? I mean, is there any information here on IMDb? No, I don't see anything other than the list of films. Is this part of a larger franchise? Or is this maybe a filmmaker came along and said, we want to try and reinvent it? I mean, I could see this doing well. If you're familiar, I guess, with Bring It On. I mean, that's a popular title. Maybe you'll like this. I'm looking to see if the director, in this case, Karen Lamb, no, she's not heralded any Bring It On films before, so she'd be a fresh pick if this is attached to another franchise. I don't know. Again, if you're more familiarized, if this is attached to an established property, feel free to let me know down below. I could see that happening with sci-fi. I mean, weren't they the ones who did Sharknado? I mean, how many series have they done at big franchises and then trying to jumpstart ones? And, I could see a franchise fair being up their alley. It's very much for me like a campy Halloween film. It just comes across that way to me with the thriller energy. I mean, it could still be an endearing release. Like I said, the TV market of films in regard to cheerleader focuses in the thriller environment, there's a lot, particularly from Mar Vista. So this is fresh in that it's sci-fi, so it's a bit different. We'll see maybe their competence level, but I think, if it's trying to be like a silly, self-aware release, it could be fun. I mean, ideally, you aren't laughing at people dying, unless it's the intention, right? It could be playing itself seriously as a campy horror release or horror thriller. And the way that this guy was killed, sort of like, with this, either that mask is supposed to be like I think it's supposed to be like the devil or something, obviously for Halloween, like throwing, knife throwing. I find it kind of funny. I think you've got like the traditional, like the TV acting. I don't think it's the best, but hey, they're trying to make it something entertaining. And maybe these actors are trying hard. I'll give them the respect on that. It could be fun. It's the way they market this. Yes, bring it on, but make it slasher. Either this is another entry in established property, or this is sort of a reinvention for maybe somebody else. Or a parody version. I mean, it could be kind of funny. And we'll have, murder mysteries are fun of like, who's the secret, the assassin or the bad person in the room, right? All these, vulnerable girls just going to school one day thinking we're going to cheer practice. How innocent, right? Maybe the school being like, no big deal. But this is Halloween, though. I mean, how many films do you have to see, especially the part of these school administrators, like, has no one from the school seen a Halloween set movie before? Like, all the disasters that ensue on that holiday. Like, all the kids that might be put in danger. I mean, even realistically, you have kids going around trick-or-treating willy-nilly these days, and in the world that we live in, sometimes kids might find themselves in a dangerous position. It doesn't matter necessarily if you're a high school, girl. You might, I'd say that makes you probably even more vulnerable, right? How many, who would schedule cheer practice in an abandoned building? And I'm assuming without oversight. At least to some capacity, you wouldn't have a school security person on board. I mean, maybe they do. I'm just not reading too much into it. But the way it's playing out, I'm like, there just seem to be so many risks here. That this is the story. Hey, maybe it'll make it more entertaining. I'm just like, who runs this school? I don't know. Interesting questions, perhaps best reserved for the film. But it looks fun. I mean, it looks entertaining. It should be a fun, TV film for Halloween, or maybe it could be a clunker. Who knows, right? TV films, mixed reception, mixed quality, but, I'll hope for the best. I am open to, horror thriller fare, especially with cheerleaders. Again, that's been highly populated in the TV environment, so we'll see, what sci-fi has to offer. That's fresh. What are your guys' thoughts, though, with Bring It On, Cheer or Die? And again, for those of you who are familiarized with perhaps other Bring It On properties, is this attached? Like, are there other films I'd have to watch in anticipation to understand that, give me the best focal point of, this is a series, maybe this is necessary information. I'd love some answers down below if that happens to be the case. Or if it's a single, apart release from anything else, maybe just a reinvention of an established property or some sort of like homage project, which is of a different tone, feel free to let me know down below. As far as the project is concerned, it looks kind of fun. I mean, it's probably going to be a campy Halloween TV horror film. But, I think it's enjoyable. It at least looks, interesting. I'll have to see what I think, and maybe, it will prove to be a good fit for the Halloween season. Time will tell, but I think, there's some potential for it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.